So this is the Redmi Note 7 Pro. This is what I've been using since exactly 1 month. Millions of people have already bought this. Millions of people will buy this along with the regular Note 7. And even though I will be talking about my full experience with this thing in a separate video just next week, the one thing that I need to share with you is my first impressions, which I can pretty much guarantee will be your first impressions as well. So 3 things. First, it's beautiful. I got the blue version, which is actually a gradient of blue and purple, and every time I tilt it, it's a bliss. I do not want to hide it, I want to flaunt it. It's insanely attractive. Second, it's big. It's actually huge, along with which it is also pretty thick. Plus the camera bump in the Pro is much more pronounced than in the Redmi Note 7 due to the 48 megapixel sensor. So when you put it on a table, the camera glass is in direct contact and at a risk of getting scratched up. Also, if you try to use it while it's kept on a table, it will wobble and shake, making it really uncomfortable to use. The third thing was that it's made up of glass, and it's Corning Gorilla Glass 5, so it should hold up against scratches to a great extent, maybe even drops. But the glass at the rear along with the smooth and glossy frame make this extremely slippery, and from what I've seen online, it's breakable. So when you combine the fact that it's huge, the fact that the Pro version has a massive camera bump, and the fact that it is so slippery, there is no denying you need a case. Now there are 2 types of cases available for the most part. First is a clear case, which is what I prefer and recommend because it allows that gradient color to reflect through. But they're cheaply built, they're soft and flexible, so they do not provide great protection. Xiaomi actually bundles a case inside the box and it falls just under this category. It is not raised from the front, so it does not protect the display glass if you put it face first. It also does not cover the camera bump on the Pro, which is almost embarrassing. Oh, and on top of all of this, they don't even have tactile buttons, which if you know me automatically renders them useless. The other type is a fully covered case, which is supposedly protective, but the problem is all the options, all the options are supremely ugly. All of them are really bulky, most of them have really hard to press buttons, and most important of all, they just hide the gradient color. So if we make a Venn diagram and if we exclude all the disadvantages of the 2 types and only include the advantages in the 2 sets, the intersection of the 2 is the dream, that is the goal. But is there anything like that? Actually, there wasn't, so I made one. I've always wanted to make a physical product of my own that would be of help to other people, and this is quite literally the first step. It's the best case you can get for the Redmi Note 7 as well as the Redmi Note 7 Pro because of its attention to detail and focus on the little things. It's a clear case, so it lets the back of the phone, which is that gradient color, shine through. It has a lay on table design, meaning it is raised from the front, so even if you lay your phone face first, the display is not in contact and not getting scratched up. It also, unlike Xiaomi's own case, completely covers the camera bump on the Note 7 Pro. So not only will it protect the glass from getting scratched up, but also not let the phone shake and move if you use it on a flat surface. The most exciting part, however, that you might have noticed by now are the buttons. If you've been following the channel, you would know how much of a sucker I am for tactile buttons, and this has just that. The buttons are not created out of the frame itself as in all the other clear cases. These are extra set of buttons that are integrated into the hardware of the case. They're made up of plastic obviously to save up cost, but they are incredibly clicky and there is absolutely nothing like it. Now, all of these things are like the cherries on top of the cake. The actual cake is the build quality. So this is not a flexible case, it's a rigid hard case that although does not add any major bulk, but it still is very protective. In fact, to do justice to the title of the video, I'm actually going to give you a show. You see, not a scratch. All in all, this is the case that I would personally use on my Redmi Note 7 Pro. It's been in the making since months and now I can finally share it with you. But one thing that I haven't talked about is the price. I've kept a really low margin on this one so that all of you who own the Note 7 or the Note 7 Pro will be able to buy this without any stress in a blink of an eye. So I'm selling this at just $893. Not $893, but $398. It's the only thing that's linked below. It's up on sale right now, and if you're getting it, which I know you are, feel free to share the unboxing experience with me on Twitter and Instagram, or maybe even make a YouTube video about it. I'll make sure to share it with my audiences. That's it. That's the first step. Even if you don't have a Redmi Note 7 or the Redmi Note 7 Pro, feel free to get this as a collector's item, as this is not going to stay forever. Thanks for the insane support, and I'll talk to you just next week. Take care.